There are a ton of action games coming to both Xbox and Game Pass in 2025. We have already seen some huge hitters already this year, but we have some insane games still coming our way. Today, I'll be covering 15 huge new action games coming to both Xbox and Game Pass, and this is only part 1 of a 2-part series. So make sure to subscribe down below for more Xbox content every single day, as you won't want to miss the second video. With that out the way, my name is Fletcher, this is Xbox Nation, and let's dive right into these incredible action games coming your way. I think it was only fitting to start off this list with a huge game that is coming this May, not only to Xbox consoles, but also day one onto Xbox Game Pass. Doom: The Dark Ages rips and tears its way onto Xbox and Game Pass on the 15th of May, and it looks staggering from all the trailers, previews, and so much more that we have seen leading up to its release. Id Software have worked wonders with the rebooted Doom franchise since 2016, but they're promising an even more in-depth story into the Doomslayer in this new entry. We can also expect a slower and weightier Doomslayer, as Id Software wanted to make us feel like an absolute tank, and that also means no more ammo conservation. It's bloody carnage at its finest, and is looking to make an explosive entry this May. I can't wait to ride a laser-firing dragon and pilot that absolute behemoth of a mech, and May can't come sooner enough. Spine is looking mighty impressive with every single gameplay trailer and preview that we've seen so far, and it's getting me hyped for this new gunfu experience. If you've ever wanted to feel like you're in a John Wick movie, then this is the game for you. Spine takes close quarters gun combat to the very next level, combining the fluidity of games like Uncharted with the intensity of a third-person shooter. The game's combat system here though is all about merging gunplay and melee combat in a very seamless way. You'll essentially be dodging bullets, disarming enemies, and pulling off some incredible stunts, all whilst engaging in fast-paced firefights. The developer have cited movies like The Matrix as real inspiration here, and it really does show in that game's stylish kinetic action sequences. The game also does feature camera work and combat choreography by action movie specialists, and is also powered by Unreal Engine 5. Now, one game that I thought was only actually coming to PlayStation, but is actually coming to Xbox day one as well, is called Hell Is Us. This is a new action-adventure game running on UE5, and is coming to us from Studio Rogue Factor, and is headed up by the game's creative director, who is previously working at Square Enix and working on Deus Ex. This game though gives me serious Death Stranding vibes. Everything from the environment style to the strange tone and weird looking enemy types looks utterly insane. That influence might just carry over to the gameplay too though, as the developer says Hell Is Us players will be guided by their feelings and their instincts rather than traditional quest design. I still can't get over the absolute beauty of this game from what we've seen so far, and an IGN preview back from September said that this game is one to watch and is a distinctive sci-fi action adventure with some tense melee combat. Crimson Desert is another title that's got everyone talking in the gaming sphere, and it is coming out this year. Originally envisioned as a spin-off from Black Desert Online, this game has really evolved into a fully fledged single-player RPG that's really aiming to redefine this genre. It's set in a vast war-torn world, and Crimson Desert looks to offer a rich narrative-driven experience by a cast of complex characters, but it's the combat that really looks to set it apart. Unlike games like The Witcher 3, which had some combat limitations, Crimson Desert looks to promise a more flexible and dynamic system here. You'll be able to engage in brutal sword fights, execute powerful finishing moves, and even use the environment to your advantage, as well as scale some massive bosses. The game also features some truly stunning visuals here, with massive open world environments that are teeming and brimming with life. If you are a fan of RPGs with deep immersive combat systems, Crimson Desert should be at the top of your list for 2025. It's not long now as we will be able to step into the dark and tumultuous land of Shu in WUCHANG Fallen Feathers. This Souls-like action RPG does launch day one onto Xbox and into Xbox Game Pass. This one though is looking to immerse us in the dark late Ming Dynasty, a period that's really rife with warring factions and also a mysterious illness that turns the humans into monstrous creatures. You will take control of WUCHANG, who's essentially a pirate warrior struck by a horrific disease, but gives her a source of immense power. As you explore the different depths of Shu, you'll be able to enhance your arsenal and master new skills harvested from your fallen foes. We will also get to battle against some pretty grotesque abominations here, drawing on ancient lore to challenge the creeping darkness that threatens the humanity that still remains. It looks like a fantastic experience for Souls-like fans, and it does come out day one onto Xbox Game Pass with a now confirmed release date of the 24th of July. Let's switch gears to something completely different with Kingmakers. This game looks to combine massive medieval battles with a very modern twist, quite literally. Imagine leading a charge of knights into battle, only to pull out a pistol or call in an airstrike. The game's premise revolves around time travel, blending the brutality of medieval warfare with the firepower of modern military tech. The sheer scale of battles here is incredibly impressive, with hundreds of soldiers clashing on the screen at one time. You will be commanding your troops in a top-down sort of RTS fashion, whilst also engaging in hand-to-hand combat and unleashing devastating modern weapons on your enemies, that being from assault rifles, fighter jets, or even tanks. The concept here is just utterly wild, but the execution looks really solid, with some truly epic moments teased in the trailers we've seen so far. If Kingmakers can really deliver on its promise though, it could be one of the most innovative action games that we've ever seen in many years. It is planned for a console release with no date announced at the moment, but there are rumours that it will come out with the Steam release sometime in 2025. Moving on though, let's take a look at Judas, the latest project from Ken Levine. Yes, the same Ken Levine who's the mastermind behind the BioShock series. Judas though takes place in a dystopian future, where you will be battling robotic enemies and uncovering some dark secrets in a setting that's as mysterious as it is dangerous. The game looks to feature a combat system that builds on the mechanics of BioShock though, with a very heavy focus on using a variety of powers and weapons to overcome your enemies. The environments here are very richly detailed as well, with a sense of atmosphere that really does draw you in and make every encounter feel tense and meaningful. Levine really does have a big reputation though for creating games with deep, thought-provoking narratives, and Judas looks like it's going to be no exception. This game was unfortunately delayed though to ensure that the developers had more time for polish and giving us the game that we always wanted, so it's now set for a release by the end of 2025. This is one title you'll definitely want to keep your eye on, and I can't wait to see what Judas brings to the table this year. I have mentioned FBC Firebreak more and more over the past few months, and that's for very good reason. Remedy have always had a knack for making some exceptional games over the past few years, and the premise of a co-op multiplayer game with no stupid and over-the-top monetization practices really does make me smile with joy. This one though is set in the same universe as Control, but FBC Firebreak actually sees us working together as part of Firebreak. This team is responsible for protecting the agency against the most dangerous paranormal threats. The game features what are called jobs this time though, which are the replayable missions with uniquely designed challenges, objectives, and environments. The gameplay that we've seen so far gave us a look at these jobs, and to be honest, everything looks like a lot of fun so far. There looks to be more previews actually landing very soon, but until then, I'm certainly looking forward to diving into this one with my friends when it comes to Xbox Game Pass day one this June. Borderlands 4 is back, and it looks to be bigger, wider, and more chaotic than ever before. Gearbox will once again be delivering us with new Vault Hunters, some expanded skill trees, and an insane arsenal of loot, but that's just scratching the surface. The game is looked to be set on a new planet called Keros, and of course we'll see a ton of new quirky characters, new dangerous enemies, and some of the best side quests the series has ever seen before. We have got a brief look at more gameplay as they released that trailer a couple of months back. It looks exactly like Borderlands games we already know and love. There is actually a dedicated PlayStation State of Play coming up shortly, showing us more on this new game and what it has to offer. But to be honest, if you love Borderlands, you will no doubt love this new entry. The game has also been brought forward as of today and will now release on the 12th of September. I do assume this is also a very big hint that Take-Two will be launching GTA 6 sometime in October later this year. Now, Elden Ring is back with Nightreign, a standalone co-op adventure that challenges players to work together like we've never seen before. Instead of a single-player experience like other From Software games, this one actually is now multiplayer only, which is certainly a shock coming from previous games. As you can see right on screen now, combat in this game has actually been retooled to reward timing and your teamwork, where perfectly syncing attacks can actually unleash some powerful chain abilities. The traversal also sees some new additions here, like short-range gliding to access areas previously out of your reach. Limveld though is the new map that we'll be exploring this time, and is a dreamlike setting in which the land is draped in an eternal shroud of twilight. It's populated by tons of grotesque creatures and remnants of forgotten factions still locked in conflict. We will have to essentially piece together Limveld's dark history, choosing to either confront or align with fractured factions in this grim odyssey. It has been great from early impressions and beta access so far, and it actually comes out towards the end of this May. Obsidian Entertainment is finally back with The Outer Worlds 2, the sequel to their critically acclaimed spacefaring RPG that came out a few years ago now. If you love the first game's chaotic blend of corporate satire with its quirky characters and open-ended exploration, then get ready because this sequel takes everything up to 11. Your goal here in this new entry though is to solve the mystery behind a deadly threat that could actually destroy humanity while resolving a violent civil war between various factions in the colony of Arcadia. The gameplay will involve heavy exploration of Arcadia's world, conversing with characters with multiple dialogue choices that can really shape the course of the overall story. Of course, there'll be first-person combat involving gunplay, melee weapons and unique abilities, and also a very deep character creation system. It has that signature humour of the Outer Worlds we come to expect, and this is a highly anticipated release for this year. Oh, and it's also coming day one onto Xbox Game Pass. Mafia The Old Country brings players to the early 1900s Sicily, exploring the inception of the Sicilian mob. If you haven't been keeping tabs on this game, I don't blame you, as we've been in the dark for quite some time. Essentially though, we'll be transported back to the 1900s Sicily, and so far we know the game is centered around the origins of the Mafia, and you'll play as Enzo Favara, working for the Teresi crime family. As I mentioned, we haven't received much in terms of marketing material for this game yet, but it's quickly becoming a highly anticipated release for 2025. However, it looks as though we'll receive a gameplay trailer as of the 8th of May, with the official Mafia Game X account confirming that the game will receive a new trailer on that date. If this one piques your interest, you can expect Mafia The Old Country to launch into the marketplace on the 8th of August, and I will cover this game more prior to its release. Following the success of the 2021 survival horror shooter Chernobylite, the Farm 51 is actually back with a sequel, which is set to come to Xbox consoles and PC this year. Chernobylite 2 Exclusion Zone will feature co-op elements this time around, with players once again exploring the post-apocalyptic wasteland of Chernobyl and its surrounding areas. It seems we'll also see more of a mix between third-person and first-person perspectives, which will be a first for these games. It seems from what we know about the story that the efforts to stop the spread of a resource called Chernobylite did fail, and now players will have to find an exclusion zone in order to survive. Luckily, as I mentioned, you can do this with a friend now, so perhaps the horror will be toned down a bit in this newer release. The beloved Metal Gear Solid 3 is reborn as Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, a faithful remake of the 2004 classic. This modernized version looks to enhance the original though, with stunning visuals, updated controls and a brand new engine, while still keeping that iconic story and gameplay intact. This one is set during the Cold War, and you'll be stepping into the boots of Naked Snake, sent on a high-stakes mission to rescue a scientist and eliminate a major threat. Stealth mechanics from what we have seen so far really do remain central here, with tons of camouflage, environmental interactions, and survival elements adding depth to the overall gameplay. The story, if you haven't experienced it before, is deeply personal, and it really focuses on Snake's relationship with his mentor, the boss, and the overall complexities of loyalty and betrayal. For longtime fans and newcomers alike, MGS Delta offers a chance to experience one of the greatest stealth games of all time with cutting-edge enhancements. I think it's quite easy to say at this point that Ninja Gaiden 4 was one of the biggest surprises coming out of the Xbox Developer Direct back in January. With Platinum Games, Team Ninja and Xbox teaming up once again, this fourth installment in the beloved franchise is looking better than ever before, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. I know so many of you have been waiting for a new Ninja Gaiden game for years at this point, but this one will be arriving day one onto Xbox and also Game Pass sometime later this fall. In this new entry though, you can expect a new main playable character, a young ninja prodigy called Yakumo, although previous protagonists and characters from early entries will also appear. If you are wondering, this one is a direct sequel though to Ninja Gaiden 3, but as you may have seen, it's set way further into the future and in a very distinct and awesome looking version of Tokyo. You'll have to let me know if you can't wait for Ninja Gaiden 4 in the comments below. So, what game piques your interest from this list? Honestly, I can't wait for Doom the Dark Ages, as it's been a tantalizing release for so many months now. Remember to like this video if you love Xbox, and subscribe for more Xbox content every single day. Whilst here though, why don't you check out the video on screen now, as I did compare Xbox to PC in 2025. G2A are also giving away a €50 gift card for the best comment on that video, so go check it out to gain an entry into that draw.